Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Money and Mindset podcast. I am your host, Sheryka Alford, here with.
Anntricia Smith.
We are so glad that you are joining us today. Man, if you did not catch the previous episode, Beating the Odds, when we had special guest Brenda Kilhofer, you definitely want to go back and listen to episode number 13. Man, what did you think about
Absolutely.
that?
The
She
backstory
had
is, ooh, yeah, yeah. And I think it triggered a lot of old emotional insecurities that uh, I could definitely relate to. Growing up in
yeah,
poverty, being compared with the other kids, your clothes don't look like theirs, and uh, the gossip. Your parents can afford this, and why you don't have something better. Just all that kind of things, Yeah, and how that backstory, how that little girl jumps into this career, now making money, and realizes that even though she's making money, she's not making any financial gains uh, any different than what she grew up with. All she has is more stuff, but yet more stuff. She still doesn't have the healthy financial habits. She's living from paycheck to paycheck and wake up one day and realize there has to be something more to life than this. So, yeah, child, I can relate. Yes.
yeah. And of course, for me, the thing that really stuck out, well, one of the things, you guys just have to go listen to the episode, but she mentioned that her dad was really good about, the budgeting, the saving, taking care of the family. He was doing the things, but it was never verbalized. It was never discussed. And of course, guys, and Trisha and I here at the Money and Mindset podcast, we are so all about talk to your kids as you are going through life and paying the bills and addressing various financial issues. Um, be sure to talk to your children so that they know what they have to look forward to once they grow up, you know?
Yeah,
So
and like
yeah,
me with mine grown and kind of going on their own journey, but going back to reteach, it's not too late to reteach. Even my mom is relearning. Guess who's the teacher? So when you learn and you go and you share those financial habits and those goals and what you're really learning about finances, it's not too late to shift the direction of your financial future, no matter where we
mhm,
started. She learned from her mom, I learned from my mom, and only difference is that I woke up one day and realized that, hey, if this is all life has to offer, I don't want any parts of it. So what's different? So I had to put myself in a different environment. Then I began to write the book so that I can teach those around me what that looks like to make small, simple, practical changes in your finances. How to make
mhm.
small, simple, practical changes in your mindset. Your whole life begins to change. When that mind change, the direction of your entire life begins to change. Everything connected to you begins to change. And so, wow, she was so transparent. Um,
Mhm.
the backstory, like I said, it's no different than anything that we're dealing with. We're just women in real time making real life decisions, trying to just set the direction of a better financial legacy, a better financial future for our families. So if you're
Mhm.
like me, your kids are grown. If you're like me, mid 40s, and um, you're living from paycheck to paycheck and you have an overwhelming amount of debt, it's not too late to uh, learn something and implement it into your life to change the whole direction of your life. You're not going to come out of it
Yeah.
overnight because you didn't get in it overnight. But
Right.
once you change the direction and you develop those new habits, um, you can sleep better at night. And so I'm excited, even
Right.
for my mom. I'm dragging her along uh, with the new financial things that I'm learning, and trying to set her up
Yeah.
for a better financial future. Because let's be real, we're aging. We're aging. I am my mom. I am uh, the lady that I watched and admired growing up. I have become her. She's now grandma. She's now older, in that older generation. And many people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, you're still living and breathing. It's not too late. Maybe you uh, are not setting it up for you to enjoy. Maybe you're okay. Maybe you want to leave something for that grandchild or that great grand or that next generation. You can do that in real time right now, just by learning new, simple, practical tips and putting it into place. So, yeah, Miss Brenda, she
Yeah.
came in and she shared a lot of that, and she had the support of her dad. He's very frugal, and we can relate to that, Sheryka. We had a
Mm,
dad just
yes.
like that. But I
Yes.
can't remember a time that I needed him financially to help in an area or two that he wasn't there to help. And but finances was not something that we discussed. Um, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's important to
Yeah.
have that
So,
support, no matter where it comes from.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, guys, be sure to go back and catch episode 13 with special guest Brenda Kilhofer. And speaking a lot about change, today I kind of want to talk about knowing when to pivot. You want to know, how do we know when it's time to pivot? Because we come up with these different plans of actions, whether it be through our finances and budgeting, or even entrepreneurial adventures or ventures rather. And we have these different plans in the place, but sometimes it gets to the point to where maybe what we have lined out is not quite working, and it would better suit us to make changes. But what are some of the key components that we can look for to know when it is time to make those changes? I guess opposed or versus it being just the little bump along the way. Because sometimes things can be just a little bump, just a little obstacle to overcome. But sometimes it gets to the point to where, what I'm doing is just not working.
Absolutely. Brenda, in the broadcast that we did in the previous episode, she mentioned taking bad advice from the wrong people. You don't want to get financial advice from your broke neighbor living in the same neighborhood, uh, in mountains of debt, in worse shape than you are, so to speak. And that's why I find that many of us make our greatest mistake. You cannot shift the direction of your financial future by listening to other poverty mindset people. They mean well, and they do have our best interests at heart. They just do not have the resources and the knowledge to efficiently get us to the place which we desire to be. And so that's first and foremost. You have to be wise enough to know what you don't know and begin to recreate your environment. And the number one step in recreating your environment is recreating yourself. You have to learn you. Where are you making the mistakes? Who's making the decisions for you? Is it the little girl inside that was impacted years ago from poverty? Is it the teenager who's now making her own money, spending all her money on the clothes and trying to look like the Joneses? Is it the next door neighbor who's made it out the projects now into the duplex and thinking that they got it all together because they have a nice car with the rims and all of that? So uh, that's first and foremost. personal development, recreating yourself, removing the labels, removing all that insecurity, um, just really looking at you and what's best for you and what's best for your family. And that is the day you wake up and you realize I have this great job, I have this awesome family, I have this wonderful spouse, I have this all this career that has the potential that can I can move up the ladder, but yet something is missing. What is that something? You got all of this stuff, but yet you're still in an environment that is not serving you. And so you have to make the changes. You have to make the changes, and that's where you start.
So you mentioned personal development, and we have said it time and time again. And oddly enough, even Brenda said it. You have to read, and read some more. So, as you're creating that new environment, the one that's nurturing and helps you to be more productive and to learn, please remember, there are so many materials out there by so many greats to help you along the way. So just remember, read or listen to an audiobook if if reading's not your thing. But yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I have to have somebody read to me. Uh, so I listen and I purchase the audiobook. So uh, we don't have any excuse. We don't. We got more time than we got money. Let's just be real about it. And so you can listen to that podcast or listen to that audio book while you're ripping and running up and down the road, headed to the mall and whatever else. Matter of fact, if you try to listen to something productive like that while you're on your way to the mall, it might begin to shift your thinking and your spending before you get there to the mall.
So true, because more than likely we don't need to go, but we're just going because
Yeah.
we
So
can.
I just had a thought come to my mind. I wonder how many of us run into the nail shop and the malls and all that to get our hair and nails done and buy the new outfit and a new pair of shoes that we don't need, just so that we can fit in with the in crowd. I wonder how many of us do
Mm.
that. And so, are we making the purchase because it's something that we feel like we need for us, or have we fed into the insecurities of our backstory? Because uh, the little ones
Yeah.
were making decisions for us because we didn't have the nice things when we were coming up as a child. So now that's all we can do is feed our insecurities into um, buying the jeans, staying in the mall, shopping online, and whatever else that looks like. Hey, if you want to shop, you need a new pair of jeans. The Goodwill is full of them. Go to the thrift shop and pick out pick out a pair of designer jeans or whatever. Nobody's gonna know where they come from. Save yourself a ton of money because let's just be real. Everything is after our money. It's after our mindset. So it makes it look so glamorous.
So, hey guys, so I'm just curious. Send us an email at moneyandmindsetpodcast@gmail.com and let us know. Do you find yourself every now and then kind of falling into the FOMO, the fear of missing out and wanting to kind of keep up with what's popular? Let us know how if that's something that
Lie.
you deal with. I
I
think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. It's been a pleasure. And until next time, I am Sheryka Alford, and she is.
Anntricia Brace.
Take care, everyone.